always talk about a lot of these teams, a lot of these players, and I go ahead and backtrack to what I told you a few splits ago. Heck, at this point, it could have even been last week. I've been saying it so much. They need to figure out who the IGL is on Team Queso. They need to define them. They need to respect them and really listen to them. Because if you look at a lot of these upper echelon teams, guess what they have? An IGL that they respect, and everybody just fills in their roles.
Okay, well, that's uncharacteristic. Acells just walks up and casually grabs the M-bar like he's just going to like your local store picking up some, I don't know, groceries or milk. So fair enough, but at least for the fight over on the hill, Team Queso will get those early points, and Acells is going to be pressured from the flank. Pell, you can't forget Acells is there. You were just peppering him, but either way, Acells looks like he's going to handle this fight, depending if he can hit that final shot, but Pell is slippery. He's getting away, but now he's got the boys coming in. Yeah, they're going to take him down. But either way, Team Queso still good spot to be in right point-wise.
Already, you see 30-plus points, almost 40-plus points at this stage in the game. You can already see Yachty. He's setting up for the next hill. They get the Pell to spawn, but that's a 4v2. They need to sit here. They need to wait for their teammates to get into action. But on the other side of things, Vanquish, though, they need to figure out a way to get these eliminations. They spot out Pell. It's just, do they know where the rest of the reinforcements at? Because if you know they're on the hill still, you attack right now while you have the numbers.
Okay. Acells wants this kill. Oh, Pell and Yachty are just switching places, lancering him and keeping him in check. Yachty's going to push up. Xysho now is going to be instrumental in protecting Acells in this moment, but Xysho backs up. Acells still going to stick it with the M-bar. It's going to be a three-man push from Team Queso to try to get the break.
Oh, I'm about to say a team kill coming through. Hndles with a massive grenade, almost like an atomic bomb to get 3 players dead from Team Queso, melting the cheese before our very eyes. M-bar in the hands of Xysho, and he knows. That's why I say you know your roles, and you play to perfection, giving that M-bar over to Acells. The spawn point down low goes to Team Queso. Acells spots that one out. He knows precision is being attacked, so he's getting ready for defense here, which is going to be the name of this next retake.
Yep, defense is going to be everything. And I think Team Queso can provide that defense depending on if they are able to rotate earlier on. But you can see their strategy, Jacob. They're spreading themselves across the map. So when VQ does rotate out, they're not going to make their lives any easier.
And right now, they're just taking too much time. Less than 30 seconds left on that remaining hill. It's almost you want to trap them there, funnel them there, but Hndles gets that kill onto Yachty. This is good, because if they break out on this side of the hill, they could force them to spawn on the hold and get the remainder of the map. They're still going to be fighting tooth and nail into the spawn to take out Pell. So outward, they spawn both Bronny and Yachty, which is where the next hill is going to be, on that side of the map. So it's very, very important they hold on to it, but the mismatch, the numbers in favor of Vanquish. They're just forcing Yachty back, but this is where Vanquish knows timing is of the essence. We have to get this guy out of spawn before his teammates come.
Get them out of spawn, indeed. Who has VQ beat on this map that's pretty notable? Well, Pittsburgh Knights. They played them in, I believe, like day number 2, if I'm not mistaken, but Regency, 300 to 137 versus the Pittsburgh Knights. It was a very dominant, decisive win. Say what you will about PK. Beating them at all, right, is a big accomplishment. Obviously, you have to take them seriously from that point forward. They've had a lot of close series since then, one of them being against Fire and Ice. They did lose to them on Regency, but only by 8 points. Either way, though, they did give one of the worst losses in Pro League, but I don't think it was streamed. It was Regency against Digital Gaming. They beat them 300 to 23. So we thought that beatdown earlier from Hive or against Hive was the worst one, but no, clearly not the case. VQ at this point, though, is very close. 20 points separate the two teams. Team Queso, they are keeping in there. I mean, they want to win this.
Yep, they did a good job of getting that early lead, but so far, I think on this hill, they wasted a lot of time off the clock. Acells gets a big double kill, and that's going to be the silver lining, is those eliminations. So they're going to spawn outward and get ready for what the next hill is going to be, but it's actually going to be towards the top half of the map. Vanquish already setting up there, and you see the side split spawn coming through from Team Queso. And Yachty's going to go ahead and try to go down low. He wants to get that shot grenade, while the rest of the team, they want to try to prevent Acells from picking up what could be a fresh M-bar and holding on to this position towards the top side. Big down coming through from Pell. Flashbang going out. Another couple of double downs coming through. Bronny goes down as well. That's 3 downs for Team Queso and a fresh M-bar for Acells.
Yeah, excellent job. I mean, that was just a team effort, but I mean, Acells, I think more importantly, I love the usage of the Lancer to keep their heads down. He also throws out his stuns. He honestly times it perfectly to pick up the inbar before he's stunned. Obviously, the Lancer fire from the side 100% helped because that got all the downs, but Acells played that position perfectly and might have even without the help, who knows, he could have picked up the inbar.
One shot's going to connect. Precision goes down with a shot grenade towards the back. Frag grenade's going to bounce off. Eliminates Acells. Xysho follows the Precision. 3 players dead. Hndles is able to get one off of respawn. He hasn't cleaned him up just yet. Finally going to clean it up, but this is enough time on the hill to make it a respectable, possibly even tied scoreline for Team Queso if it's uncontested. So they need to be aware of the split spawns. As Xysho pushing in, catching one off guard. He's going to be able to contest this hill, and he gets deep in towards the backside, so they're going to be able to anchor it as well. Bronny gets one eliminated. Bronny gets 2, almost gets a 3rd, but Yachty's going to clean that one up as Team Queso once again playing control of the hill, but instead of tying it up, I think they're going to be shy 10 points.
And I think VQ is, well, I guess they're going to go for another attempt here, just depending on where they spawned up. They want to kind of eliminate any advantage Team Queso has. And this is a late contestation, but I mean, fair enough. Every point needs to be fought for. You never know how close the series are going to be. Pell's going to be moving in, but he's going to be angled out by Hndles. You'd have to assume, well, Hndles does fall. The Lancer fire from the right is going to help, and Acells now is going to be in a tricky spot, 1v2 himself, but he continues to push forward and get the downs.
VQ playing on the same page here, and every little one of these exchanges making sure nothing goes for free. Precision is going to be first towards the next hill, followed up by Hndles, and they're going to get the spawn point towards the top as well. This is already looking like it could be a 200+ score line, uncontested, but Team Queso, he got that shock early on. Yachty's going to throw it towards the backside, answered by a couple flashes to stun him out. Not let them put that to use as they continue and try to brute force their way through. Pell goes down. Chain revives are a must. 3 players kind of getting funneled to try to get this one. Finally, some eliminations are being cleaned up, but it's in favor of Team Queso. Late into this one, those are much needed eliminations as they're looking to try to tie this one up as soon as possible.
So VQ's got a pretty substantial task ahead of them to eliminate these members of TQ and kind of break through. Bronny continues to slay out. Xysho's gone. Scavzy will pick up Hndles, and that's 3 out of the way. And again, VQ had a tall task. They had to break the setup of TQ, but TQ spread themselves out. And by spreading themselves out, they put VQ in a fatal funnel. Everywhere you looked, one member was getting chip damage on any player from VQ, therefore making the job much more manageable and chunkable as they were pushing in. Those frags, though, are going to be great. 2 frags thrown out. That's going to force Team Queso out of positioning. Yachty, you can tell, now in a really hard spot, but maybe a spot he can get out of as the rest of the boys from TQ come from the outside, come down the steps to help him out. That was a great collapse. Good read on VQ's positioning. Very well done from Team Queso.
Yeah, on the side of Vanquish, though, you gotta make sure you get some eliminations with those frags. We even saw Kenny get some eliminations with them, but it still wasn't going to be enough. So Vanquish, you gotta take a page out of that book. You gotta figure out a way to always do more. They know how important this spawn is. Pell goes down. Bronny falls as well. They use their numbers advantage. They need to figure out a way to get Yachty. Not only do they get that elimination on Yachty, if they do, they get the spawn point as well. And you see his Xysho, you see Precision. They don't want to let this spawn point go over towards Team Queso as they stagger the dead, taking out Yachty. 3 members gearing up towards the top. This push is not going to be an easy push, but if they attack sooner rather than later, that advantage that VQ has won't come into play on this exchange as Pell, he's probably at least 80%. Acells goes down, working together well. Bronny and Pell are, but eliminations towards the backside. Flame coming through. Precision and Hndles working even better.
It's a scrappy fight for sure. Yachty's moving in by himself. Great shot from Precision. And, you know, that's a player we didn't really highlight as much. We did at the beginning of the broadcast, but not so much in the discussion between VQ and Team Queso. We're more so setting up the storyline between Bronny and Xysho. You know, both, well, obviously Xysho, current team member of VQ. Bronny, the previous team member, added on a bit late and split to phase 2. But Precision, a guy that has been making not only a name for himself in the past, but I think more so as of recently being just a dominant slayer for this VQ roster. And man, great eliminations across the board. Look at Acells, clean 3-piece,
making it look easy. 20 seconds left on the clock. They're gonna get about 215 on the scoreboard if he goes and collects every single second on the clock. But you already see Vanquish set up on towards the next hill. That's when Hndles is going to go ahead and try to rotate off as well, get a different angle towards the backside, try to solidify as much defense as they can. They get a big down onto Yachty. I don't know sure if Scavzy is going to be able to save his life. Slowly but surely trying to bleed him out. Finally, it's going to come through. You see the overextension coming through from Bronny. They just want to try to solidify something here, but get snuck, taken out by Hndles. You must think before you move.
Ooh, must think before you move, huh? That sounds like a logical thing. Going back to your ABCs, Jacob, 100%. Well, VQ is starting to take away with this this round. Team Queso was looking strong, and they still are, but VQ, the closer they get to that 300 mark, the more pressure is on for Team Queso, and Pell wants to move, but the shock is finally gone. He's going to join the rest of his teammates, but unfortunately runs straight into the nades.
Not see that one. Heck, I didn't even see that one coming. I didn't hear that one coming.
Jacob. Think before you move.
You know they have the frags. You know they're not going to give it to you easy. You have to be aware. Yachty getting staggered out again. Still about 35 seconds left on the clock. They're going to move within 30 seconds if this hill continues to be uncontested. Hndles going to take this 1v1 against Bronny. Former teammates turn foes. Hndles makes that one look easy. Playing towards the backside. Going again. If at first you don't succeed, bust yourself off and try again as Hndles gets two.
Cool, VQ so close to 300 now. It's getting dangerous for the boys of Team Queso. They'll prioritize that M-bar, and hopefully they connect, man. We'll see. That's going to be one missed shot, though. I know it's got him spooked. Xysho is going to be hit with the body. Yachty now is going to push up with Pell up close and personal now. The frags once again. Pell, he's going to get taken down. He was already out. Acells going to get the pickup. Scavzy is going to be dropped in the M-bar. Literally zero impact as each shot gets whipped. Yachty tries to get out with his life, but I fear this might be the end for our boys on Team Cheese.
Yeah, as much as Bronny's been able to do and bring to this team, I still think they lacked a little bit of depth in their strategy. And right now, they're just looking one-dimensional, going forward, getting taken out, precision holding his ground. His character's even screaming in success. Finally, it's going to be Bronny, former teammate, to take him out. 10 seconds left. They must go. Yes, Acells is hiding. He lets one slip past, gets the other one onto Bronny. Xysho goes down. Yachty and his teammates are doing everything he can. That's going to be Pell. Pell gets one. Teammates getting taken down. Scavzy's there in the nick of time, but he gets eliminated. It's all up to Pell. Hopes and dreams and map number 1 on the line, but it does look like he's gonna fall in the end. 6 seconds remain. I don't think anybody's gonna be able to touch the hill from Team Queso as Vanquish will solidify map number 1.
Map number 1 in their favor, 300 to 145. It was a well-fought battle, at least mid portion. I think for the beginning and for the middle of this match, Team Queso was absolutely in it. They were putting up one hell of a fight. They were looking incredible. But at a certain point in time, VQ said enough is enough, and they just were unstoppable from that point. You know, I think it was around when they were tied, like, what, 140, 130, around that, and then VQ just did not stop from that point. And I don't know what ticked in their mind, what kind of changed. I don't know why the intensity kind of picked up. Maybe it was Acells picking up the 3-piece, or Precision holding his ground basically by himself inside that hill against all members of Team Queso. Little moments like that absolutely have the, the possibility to encourage your teammates to just try even harder. But for VQ, well done. That is an impressive victory.
No, it definitely is going to be an impressive victory. And honestly, it shows, like we said, they're one of those dominant teams. Even when they kind of got, I don't want to say team-wide, but taking out 2-3 of their members, they didn't waste any time at all going ahead, spawning up and making the next aggressive play that they could make. And you really got to give it to Hndles there. Acells, they got multi-kills time and time again for their squad, along with Precision. Heck, everybody. Xysho even got, as you see there, yet again. They were just on the same page through and through.
Man, well done and well fought out. And you know what, you said it best. You were kind of mentioning maybe Team Queso needs to kind of expound on their bag of tricks. You know, maybe there's just not enough depth to their strategy. And I agree with that. With Control, you have to be a very fluid team. Setups have to be totally different. You have to be, I think, quick on your feet more than anything. You know, just overall, just be willing to adjust and roll with the punches. Keep your head on the swivel, as I like to say. VQ is just, I think, a better, well-rounded team in that regard. After all, they do have 3 core members on this Vanquish roster. Xysho joining into the mix is a great addition, kind of acting as that, not unofficially, like that IGL role, really bringing in a lot of value to this roster. I think VQ is just a more mature team. You know, Team Queso still needs, honestly, they probably, if this roster stays together, they most likely need yet another season to finally fall into their own and be a true competitor in this pro league.
Yeah, something like that. And you can kind of like see it, like you said. They were close during the mid portions of the game, but they found a moment. And you can see like multi-kills coming through on the side of VQ. From there, it didn't matter if they were ahead on hills, behind on hills. They stick to their strategy. They wolf packed as a team. But on the other side of things, Team Queso, you saw them getting desperate. You saw them making solo plays one after the next. You even saw it in one of those highlights where Hndles got a 2v1. That was two separate 1v1s between Bronny and Pell. They're just not working well together right now in this one particular match. I don't know what it's going to take to really ring them up together and start to begin to think as a cohesive unit. But a map like Execution, that game mode is going to be the one where your backs are up against the wall. You have one life, so you need to make sure you're on the same page. And from there, you can kind of see who needs to make adjustments as an individual and as a full team.
Well, you bring up Execution. That's what we're heading into next, right? We have Execution on Tomb. It's a fun map to watch. A lot of 1v positions. Typically now we see that 2v2 that's being fought for the Torque Bow. So looking at the stats, kind of going back a little bit in history. And one thing to take note of, first, let's start off with the good news, first and foremost, for Team Queso. They did beat Rebel 6-4 on Execution on Tomb. That's an impressive victory. We talk about the success of Rebel and how well they've been playing, right? They did lose, however, to Tomb in week number 1. 6-4 to Fire and Ice. Now, it's Fire and Ice, you know, to be expected, right? Fire and Ice is just an incredible team. You play them or put them against Team Queso. More often than not, Fire and Ice is going to win. Now let's get back to the positives for VQ, but now a very big negative for Team Queso. VQ did play against Fire and Ice on Tomb. They played Execution, Fire and Ice, and they beat them 6-0. They beat Fire and Ice on Tomb 6-0. That's what VQ was able to do. Whereas, obviously, we just seen, as I just said, Team Queso lost 6-4 on Tomb to Fire and Ice. So this is where things in the series start to get a bit rocky, because you even said it yourself, right? Maps 2 and Maps 3, VasgarEscalation coming up next, heavily favor VQ.
Yeah, they definitely do. They're very, very aggressive maps because the way Tomb plays that middle of the open, you pick out a target and you're all on the same page of how you want to attack him. More times than not, that player, and specifically that one, is going to go down. Obviously, there's going to be some reinforcements, some sort of counter attack being pushed through to try to save the game. But we know how quick Vanquish can be. We know how much they like to be aggressive, how much they like to fight certain fights. And on a map like Tomb, I think a lot of those fights favor a team like VQ. Lance your player out, immediately push them on, try to push forward. So that's where I'm interested to see Team Queso. I hope there was no arguing over that last map. Not really too much negative atmosphere, no negative vibes. You need to be able to shake it off. It's different game mode. You need to flip the switch and kind of match that being a different game modes where you got to have that short memory. It's a single live game type. It's not going to play as fast. It's not going to play as quick, that you need to really minimize your mistakes.
All right, minimize mistakes, right? I think that's can be felt across all game modes and really across just all Gears competitive in general. Precision getting away with that torque, though. Well done for Precision. And again, that is something you need to challenge. Giving that torque bow up for free is not the play, but albeit Yachty does hunt him down and takes him out, as VQ will be in a 3v2 momentarily. Scavzy and Pell were finished off from Team Queso. Let's see how Yachty and Bronny go about this.
Trying to see what they have right now. They were unable to get that torque bow from the dead body of Precision, so that's going to be a little bit of a silver lining. But Xysho with that sniper, it's all about how much information that they're going to be given. How well do they check their corner? You see Xysho kind of playing back in towards the middle, spot going out on towards the cells. Big fight opportunity. Bronny can come up huge. We know what he can do. Big down, big elimination coming through, and they get it. That's going to be a 2v1. It's going to come down 1v1. Xysho versus Bronny, the replacement versus the original, and Bronny completes a 3-man wipe to start off the next map.
Hey, that is that boy Bronny, all right? Newly graduated high school, Gears Pro through and through. Let's get a replay. Break it down for me.
As he sneaky plays, that's what it was. And the trigger discipline, letting both players run by him before he attacked, got his health back, and held on to his right-hand advantage. As soon as he shot that first shot against Xysho, he was shaken.
Oh, Bronny, the man who makes it happen. Like, I mean, he is the X factor for Team Queso without question. I don't care what the overall record is going to be at the end of this split for Team Queso.
How did they not see him?
Bronny is still that guy. Like, you have to take him seriously. And look at it, just popping and weaving, staying. Oh, he does it. He did it.
Yo, this kid is nasty. Bronny, please, you need to teach me this. I'm still wondering, how did they not see him in that last round? But 2v3, Bronny, can you do it again? One down coming through. The tables have definitely turned. Talk about doing it again. Can you end Team Queso's hopes? 2 rounds in a row. You did it once before. Oh. Okay, yeah, no, this is tough. They're aiming for the sniper body shot.
Yeah. You know, I'm not going to say it, but I mean, Bronny really is. You can't do that. You can't do that. The way that Bronny just disrespected you in the last round, Hndles, I get it. You want to show the love, but my guy, Bronny just destroyed you in round 1. Give him the respect that is, I mean, respect is needed.
I'm gonna say it again. I really don't know how they didn't see him. I was saying you gotta really check your corners. This is single life game mode. You can't lose like that. Let the man really make a play, not because he's stuck behind you and somebody was blind. I don't know if somebody didn't have their glasses on. Maybe you need to turn the brightness up, but that's one of those things you just can't have happen on the side of Vanquish. But luckily for them, they were able to kind of even that one up rather quickly. Yachty for precision is gonna be one of these fights down low. Yachty is gonna land a few pellets, which is gonna be important. Get stunned out, taken out by precision. Acells quickly gets one, but no, he dies. He didn't even get the elimination. This is tied up, but now we have another mismatch opportunity going down. But it's precision with the torque bow. It's your turn to clutch.
I mean, if there's anybody that can clutch this, it is precision. Like, I fully believe in him. He can pull off things that Bronny can pull off as well. Like, and this is the thing, he knows what Bronny's capable of. Keeping that spacing is going to be critical. The long shot is the biggest issue, naturally, right? Scavzy is going to be in a power position. But so let's see how this plays out. If I'm Team Queso, I'm not necessarily pushing him. I'm honestly, I would be more focused on the overtime hill.
I agree with you 100%. Precision, though, you don't have that same luxury. You know the snipers, that was an active that possibly could have connected. Quickly bounced off, and I don't know if that was him. I don't know if that was the cover, but Bronny here's the information, gets the rotation. You can't put yourself in the open. Big shots being fired off. Now it's all over as Bronny lances down precision and returns the same up. Yep, I told you this is more than just a matchup between two teams. This is blood between Bronny and VQ.
Exactly. And that's the biggest thing, right? We knew this matchup was eventually going to come, but here it is. Here is your opportunity to show. And this is the thing. Again, VQ might be Team Queso tonight, but you better believe Bronny is going to be living rent-free in VQ's mind. That's all I got to say.
Looking at the map right now. I like the way this 1v1 is going down. Yachty's just not scared to push up, waits for the flash to go ahead and bounce off. He spots out precision. Hopefully they're at least relaying the information trades in the center of the map. So it's still a 3v3, but it does look like a VQ. They want to overwhelm that sniper. Acells actually downs his teammate. Trades going through though. Both the Hndles and Acells fall. It's going to be precision. I was about to say, no, it doesn't really matter. I was going to say precision, but I was messed up anyway. It was going to be Acells by himself, and they're going to go ahead and give it right back. Bronny said, man, we got third place because of me. He's trying to take all the credit right now.
Yachty doesn't even want to, like, Yachty's trying to just distance himself. Like, hey, Bronny, chill. Hey, Bronny, chill out, brother. Hey, Bronny, chill out, man. How many eliminations does Bronny even have at this point?
65.
Well, what about that?
9. I was close. 9 and 1.
You
That's
were very
impressive.
close. You were very 9 eliminations. Wow. And what, round 5? That's pretty awesome.
Almost 2 around. And honestly, you're eliminating the entire half of the team by yourself every round. You can see you either up 3-1 over Vanquish. You got a little bit of switch up a strategy coming through. Vanquish, they don't know. I don't even know if they know. They actually have a player going up top for Team K, so that's going to be Pell. He's not stopping for the frags. He's trying to go all the way around. Great information given with a nice spot on the Xysho. Yeah, that's going to be first blood. Vanquish, they're going to feel that pressure. Precision does a good job eating up and getting the torque bow. That's going to be the key.
So 3v3, Precision once again with that torque bow. Long shot's going to be the hand of Scavzy. So Scavzy's probably going to try and get that angle for Pell.
How clean he looks. Heroic Bear, I purchased it. I didn't make the mistake this time.
you bought it.
Yeah, I made sure my 40,000 coins went to use. Let me tell you what. I played one of them FFA matches too. It works. Looking fresh and so clean, Outcast style.
See, I'm glad you know Outcast, man.
If you don't know Outcast, man, I feel bad.
No,
you missed out on the golden. And not you, but they're one of the few people to go diamond with their albums.
You know, there's a lot of youth that doesn't know who Outcast is. Is there anybody in chat who doesn't know who Outcast is? Please speak up. I want to know.
Block me now.
But Block him now. Here goes Bronny. 1v2. VQs, they're poking the bear, they're pushing. Oh, great connection on the Hndles. That was from Scavzy with the long shot. Bronny now is going to be pincered in.
Bronny baited him out. Bronny got marked. He got chased, and he baited him out towards this middle entrance where the sniper was aiming. Precision going for some splash damage. One torque bow left. You almost need it if they try to bum rush that hill. Splash damage on the floor. Yeah, hopefully he doesn't waste that one. It's Scavzy. He's kind of just playing recon, kind of just getting that information, making sure nobody's making any sneaky flank plays. But it does look like they're going to try to take that 1v1. That's going to be Acells trying to lead the charge. He quickly goes down, and so does Precision as Team Queso go up 4-1. This is not something I expected, but am I surprised? No.
I don't really watch, or I haven't been able to catch, excuse me, the 2v2 Astro battles in its entirety. I watched the last one. I was really happy to see Sloan up there, competing. But does Bronny play in the 2v2 Astro battles?
I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure.
Bronny needs to play in the 2v2 Astro battles.
I watch the streams. I don't pay attention to the bracket. That's the thing.
Well, Bronny needs to play. And I don't know who Bronny... If Bronny isn't making the broadcast every Friday for 2v2, like, Bronny is finding partners.
Ooh, Bronny, you need a teammate, brother. You might have to carry me, but I'll give you some moral support.
Oh, good spacing.
Ooh,
and I want to highlight, we've been talking about Bronny quite a bit for good reason. Pell, that's the second round in a row where Pell opened up the door to give Team Queso the man advantage.
And he do it. How many clutches? It's hard to get one, let alone can Bronny get 2 clutches in the same map. They're up 4-1, so he doesn't necessarily need the clutch. They have a little bit of a round cushion here. As just shooting off torque bows, trying to catch somebody off guards. I like the way Vanquish, man. They're not biting off more than they can chew. They're taking their time. Bronny gets some information, some well-needed information on Xysho's positioning. Going to be crucial here. You know where that hill is going to pop, and that's exactly kind of why they're maneuvering around the map. They're gearing for what could be that tiebreaker scenario.
Yeah, and you have to. Xysho picks up the nades. Man, but Xysho also has that sniper. So Bronny can get a headshot onto him. The possibilities are endless. So it's going to come down to Xysho and Bronny here. Naturally, you do have Hndles in the background, but I think this is where it's really going to pop off. Nades are going to be out. Bronny forced. Oh, Bronny couldn't go anywhere. He knew the sniper was coming here, knew the nades was coming. Jacob, what could Bronny have done in that situation? It was already difficult as it was.
I mean, in that situation, it's really hard. In the 1v2, you're kind of hoping for the other team to make a mistake. You wasted a lot of torque bows, getting the splash damage. Even then, when you're that close, you can't necessarily aim at them. You just got to kind of make some moves, get them to miss, and it's kind of like what you're hoping for, especially when they're playing it exactly like that, close. They're not giving up any inches. They're waiting for you to make a mistake. It's very hard. 11-2. God damn.
I'm feeling the same way, brother. I'm feeling some type of way. Bronny's bringing it out of me, man. Blaze, he gets some sounds too, man. But me, watching Bronny do what he's doing is just better than cheesecake, brother. And it's hard to be better than cheesecake. Great elimination from Scavzy. Xysho, how do you get out of this situation? Well, you just push forward and obviously get some help from your other teammates. It's going to be a 1v3. And Scavzy, he's going to drop off. Will they beat him down? I really don't know. What was that?
Honestly, I don't really know how they got funneled over, but to me that looked like they got eliminated early on one side of the map. They're trying to force something on the other, but it really didn't work out for them. They got stuffed, and that's what you got to think. A team like VQ, when they're down like this, they're going to tighten up. They're not going to give you your 1v1s. They're not going to let you get a fair shock and fight. They're going to stay as far back as possible and make you come to them, especially in Execution 2.0.
All right, so VQ slowly coming back now. Without question, if you shut Bronny down, you shut Team Queso down. So if I'm VQ, I'm trying to isolate him. I'm trying to take him out of there. Pell, who's been influential as well. You take him down, that's going to hurt Team Queso overall. Scavzy now is about to be out-angled. He surely will fall in this moment, maybe, but man, did he put up a great fight. Now, Bronny 1v4. Now, we've seen 2 1v2s, but a 1v4? I don't even think Bronny can pull that off.
I don't think so either. I think we got a tie game at 4 rounds apiece. And yes, folks at home, you're going to see this every single round. This is bad blood. This isn't just a match between these two. Like me and Reflections explained, this is Bronny versus his former team. He needs to show or prove that it was a mistake. And honestly, that's exactly why you see him round after round after round. These two teams really telling each other in game what they think of each other.
I mean, look, bottom line period, Bronny, I mean, he's proved himself, you know, and he has continually proved himself in Pro League. And that's what I was saying, despite Team Queso's record, like, I don't think it really shows Bronny's capabilities or what. That third place in the spring major, to me, proves what Bronny can bring to the table.
Reminds me of like LeBron James' son, even.
He's
LeBron James' second son, Bronny. Bronny 2.
There you go. Bronny 2. Making it happen. Well, I don't know, be Bronny 1. That's a bold statement. Team Queso's collapsing here. Team Queso's collapsing. VQ. Yeah, that was the quickest round. Oh, See, Bronny gave it to him though in the early rounds. So this is okay because Bronny gave it, and they're giving it back. Nothing wrong with this.
Vanquish on map point here, one step away from closing this one out. 4 rounds in a row. You got to think they have the formula down. It's going to be up to a real big switch of a strategy. And even though I'm talking about a real big switch of a strategy, it doesn't necessarily come in the form of sending your players to different places. You could do that same strategy, but you need to execute. And like I said, target one player out. That's exactly what VQ is doing on these early rounds. They're targeting somebody out, getting an early down, getting an early elimination, and closing it out from there.
All right, potential final round here for VQ to take the 2-0 lead in the series, heading into Vasgar, which we already know how hard that's going to be for Team Queso. And quite honestly, this is a must-win to keep the series alive. Oh, but Team Queso tries to go for the team pickup. Not going to happen, though. Bronny is going to be joined by Pell as Bronny is going to finish off Acells. Precision might be caught out in a bad position as well. And surely he drops here, and he does. Best case scenario, he gets a trade. So Hndles 1v2 in Team Queso. Very close to sending it to a round 11.
I see him.
Nice. I had to give it a moment to breathe. I didn't want to call it a little too soon, but round number 11, like you said, they've switched things up, and they caught that, what was it, Scavzy towards the top side. They caught him off guard, a quick revive, trying to save the day, but when it's that big, it's just too quick, and it happens so fast. But round number 11, Bronny needs some help here. Even though we're looking at Bronny every round to go big, I'm looking at somebody else in this round, particularly somebody in the middle. Maybe Pell.
I think Pell could be the guy.
Because, they got to switch their strategy. They're switching it up overall.
Who is? Team Queso?
Yep. They set Pell up top.
So I think Pell has actually been up top before, because didn't he go on that flank that one time?
Yep,
and then Lance someone else?
Yeah, he got the down on the Xysho when he was rotating in towards the middle, but he uses that flash to try to get the nade. They see he can push up. Oh, he can't up 8 either. I was gonna say he can't up 8 or he killed himself. Xysho immediately turns things on his side. Yachty feels the pressure, dodging crucial shots.
He
takes down
that?
Precision. But
oh no, oh no.
No, go back. Go back.
No. Yachty, come back.
Bronny, hide him. Put a blanket on him.
It's a 2v3. Scavzy, you got to stay up. Join. No, Bronny. Bronny's in a 1v3. He's trying to let him know. Bronny is desperately trying to let him know.
Okay. That's I don't know what's gonna happen. That was just a blunder. Round number 11. Yeah, they're just gonna go ahead and take it. They're just gonna go ahead and take that one. Vanquish, close it out 6-5. Taking out Team Queso. Man, that was such a nail biter, and it shows, like, I talk about the potential, I talk about the ceiling, and that is exactly why.
There you go. VQ takes an important round, round 11. That puts them 2-0 up in the series and that much closer to winning 3-0. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll break down execution and talk about escalation. Welcome back to Gears Pro League Split 3, Day 5. I'm Taylor Reflections, though. We're joined by Jacob MVPR. And man, what a battle we had between Team Queso and VQ. Heartbreaking that Yachty just, I don't know, decided to lag out in that moment. That really is tough. But you know, the standing, or it will stay. The ruling is VQ wins that, and quite honestly, they should. You know, it's a live round. It's a moment you can't control. I want to kind of break down that last round with you though, Jacob, and kind of talk it through and maybe, you know, ask, could TQ have won that? Well, we saw Scavzy go up by himself. He isolated him in what, a 1v3 if I'm not mistaken, because VQ was wolfpacking at that point. At best, maybe a 1v2, but he ended up dying off. So let's say he does die off. Pell died off earlier because he threw the nade, right? And he couldn't up A, he couldn't get out of that spot, so he was gone. So now it's brought down to Bronny and let's say Yachty's still on. Now it's brought down to Bronny and Yachty. They do have the torque bow in that case, yes, but they're still in a 2v4, right? So I think VQ, for all intents and purposes, most likely would have still won that round.
I feel like I might be remembering a little different because Yachty got that kill on the precision to try to even it up. That wasn't 4 players alive.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
he got that. That's what I'm saying. You asked me what happened. Well, little boat hit an iceberg and everything came sinking down for Team Queso. And that's just unfortunate because you win that fight, you get the torque bow. I do believe it might have been a 3v3 or 2v3, but unfortunately that's what happened. You have the bad blood. They're a team to where they fought tooth and nail for that round. They got the advantage. They got the sniper. So you replay that, you risk losing that round number 11, everything you fought for. So it's kind of one of those things where it's like on the fence, damned if you do, damned if you don't style of thing. But at the end of the day, the show must go on. Vanquish lead 2-0, one step away from closing out the series and our night for their fresh start on this week.
And for what it's worth, you know, I wouldn't replay it if I was VQ either.
Nope.
I mean, I just simply wouldn't. And if I was Team Queso, you know, hey, let's replay it. You know, if they say yes, they say yes. But if they say no, like, you know, I understand. You don't replay moments like that. So well done for VQ. They do win round 11, 6-5. Now they're up 2-0. Now let's bring it in. Escalation, Vasgar, a map that you have to favor VQ on.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those maps where you got to think aggression leads it, especially on a hill, a rotating-based game. But from what you've already seen from Team Queso, even though you got to give it up to VQ, you got to think the experience, what they've shown, not throughout this split, but since they're, like I said, they're coming forth as a team from challengers, you got to think, but Team Queso, man, they continue to surprise me. They continue to show why they're amongst the elite in the Pro League. So even though you got to give it up to VQ, possibly think they're going to close it out 3-0, I could see a comeback being possible. I could see them starting to make noise here, but do I think the possibility, the probability coming through is going to happen? Probably not.
You know, I mean, if we look at history, in terms of Team Queso on Vasgar Escalation, they have beat certain teams. I believe Digital Gaming was one of those teams they beat. It was 5-3, but they have suffered some major losses. Hive is one of those teams. They lost 5-0 to Hive on Vasgar. Now, I think they also played Fire and Ice, if I'm not mistaken, but maybe I am mistaken. But either way, that whenever it does come to VQ, I know for sure they played against Fire and Ice. They beat them 5-1. And that's a statement because you think about how well Fire and Ice, you know, traditionally plays Vasgar. I think they've definitely been having their struggles on Vasgar as of recently. For whatever it's worth, their control and execution game is phenomenal, but Escalation continues to be up in the air on certain maps. Vasgar surprisingly being one of them, but you take that into account. VQ beating them 5-1 is pretty impressive, and they did lose the Hive, but they lost 5-3. But that's not a 5-0. Yep. So it looks like VQ should absolutely be the favorite heading into this one, but Team Queso might have something different in mind.
Yeah, to me, I think one of the biggest things that will hold Team Queso back from winning this is if they get desperate. Because we already know strategy isn't necessarily their strong suit, so they're going to get aggressive, they're going to take fights, but they can't get desperate. They can't get greedy. They can't bite off more than they can chew, and I think that's one of the things that I'm really going to be looking out for. I think Bronny is going to do his thing, kind of lead the charge, win a couple exchanges, backed by Pels, Yachty, and Scavzy as well. They're all incredible individuals, but this is a team game. This is where it's all or nothing, where your back's up against the wall, down 0-2. You need to figure it out, and this is going to be a truth test. Like we all kind of predict VQ to close this one out, but anything can happen.
All right, well, let's see what does happen. Indeed, it's going to be a 2-2 split, 2 over there for Charlie, and again for VQ. This is not a must win, but if they do win it, they'll be up 3-0 and obviously win the series 3-0 and better their record. And VQ needs to do that because they've had some struggles lately, but it is what it is. Let's see what Team Queso could do in this moment.
This one's just slow down just a little bit, just waiting for waiting for that opportunity, getting the information. You can kind of rev up where you want your perfect flash to be. But if you see this man revving up a flash like that, aiming it to the perfect spot, and you still get stunned by it, man, were you not aware and ready. Hi. Oh, no, that's a feint. He fainted. He fainted.
With the L.
Oh,
Keeping it
okay, good thing. I was like, good thing he twitched off that last one. He's about to give him the finger. A fight going down on the other side of the map. Scavzy's feeling the pressure. Pell goes down. The hills will switch. No points going to be netted for Team Queso. On the other side of the map, you know they're feeling that pressure. Lil Boat's going to go ahead and move up, followed by his teammate Bronny. They need to get these shots on in precision, but Xysho's doing a good job of holding him back. Well-placed flash as well. They're just buying time. They're wasting much time right here, and Bronny goes down. So does Yachty. Triple cap domination here. If Pell gets taken out, it's all up to Scavzy. He goes in. He falls to Acells as well. Triple cap domination going through. Vanquish score round number 1 in 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Up 1-0 now. And hey, I just want to say, by the way, I love that it seems like Bronny is keeping it loose, keeping it light, you know, especially after a frustrating loss on Tomb execution. But hey, just still, you know, giving him the L. Bronny knows what he thinks about the team, you know, and VQ knows what they think about Bronny, but putting too much emphasis on Bronny. Let's talk about the other man, Yachty, Pell, Scavzy. I think all three of them have actually done fairly well tonight, but you're going against a very tough team of VQ. It is what it is. So Boltox are going to be down, but I'm curious, would you, if you were in Team Queso's position, just go ahead and throw down like a long shot to kind of focal that fight, you know, force that fight in one location, or do you like the way it could be played?
You know what? I throw up a trick that we were seeing more teams kind of adjust to. I throw the instance or shock down there. You won't get it on your side. You're going to have to fight for it. It's going to really change things up, especially if teams haven't practiced it. So I'm interested to see when the rest of the teams are really going to catch on to that wave. Obviously, it's a situational thing, but big shots from Yachty. I think he dodged a well-placed flash as well towards the backside, but Pell gets first blooded on the other side of the map. It's going to be big opportunity to push through, but that's where you think Hndles, he's not positioned there to take the 2v1. Acells goes down, though. That's going to be an opportunity, but Hndles, a player that I said wasn't necessarily decisive, now he decides to protect his home house.
All right, Precision, what are you up to? Full red, being challenged by Yachty and Pell. And we know his execution game was tight. Can he do? Oh, my Lord. Oh, does he do it? Jacob, he's going to do it. Pell is the last one in his hands. He's going to hit him with... Precision is just good.
I know I compared him to Speedy a long time ago, but man, he might have even surpassed him at this point. Obviously, he doesn't have a trophy just yet, but when it comes to skill, he might be the next best thing on that same wavelength I should talk about specifically. But Yachty goes down. Bronny gets taken out as well. Precision continuing to steamroll through. Gets another down with some help. Cleans up that elimination. 4 players dead. Vanquish go up 2-0, making this one look easy.
Yeah, they really are. VQ, I mean, what's more to say, right? They've always been a great escalation team. They've always been a good team on Vasgar in general. I mean, just the stars aligned for map number 3 for them personally. And with Precision holding his ground, that 1v2, that allowed and opened up the door for VQ to get that domination. You know, that was Precision. It wasn't all Precision, but in that moment, it was Precision in that 1v2. Very well done once again. So we'll have the retros up both ends for Team Queso. They're happy with, well, not happy per se with how the last 2 rounds have been, but they don't want to change up anything at this point. But hey, let's see how round number 3 goes as VQ is going back over towards the checkpoint spawn, which should make it a little bit more difficult to take control. But we'll find out how the tank fight as well as the B fight's going to go down.
Already got it down towards the backside, though. Yachty, once again, that iceberg is really tearing into him as he goes down, creates the mismatch, 2 hills to 1. You already see Bronny trying to rotate over. He's really trying to make a difference in this fight. Pell gets the first down. Scavzy gets taken out, and there goes the difference. Bronny, right place, right time to take out Hndles. They're going to trade home mills, so Vanquish will still be up +1, especially with Xysho in this positioning with the retro. It's all about wasting time, but no time's really going to be wasted off that clock unless Precision can make something happen. 2 players get shut down for VQ, and this is going to be the hope, the silver lining that Team Queso need to really get back into this round with only 10 points, less than 10 points, something like that, separating these 2 teams. It's not going to take much.
I like this 3-man push from Pell, Scavzy, and I believe that's Yachty. Or is Yachty going to be on the up? So Yachty is actually broke off because Yachty was with Pell and they were working together quite well. But I like that 3-man push on Charlie. The team fire was in and they controlled the fight. They controlled the pacing with VQ coming off the spawn. Things could get a little bit different though, or interesting I should say, is VQ is going to split up 2-2. So they're theoretically going to be putting Team Queso in a vice grip. The big thing though that VQ needs to win, or the big fight they need to win, is going to be here on C. But Pell's not making that life easy. The retro is hitting hard, and VQ is unfortunately going to be in a 3v2 and potentially could be in more trouble as player 3 is rotated over towards B.
Gotta make sure to stagger the deaths, but Yachty does go down there. If they found a way to take out Hndles, this could have been a possible triple cap domination, but Bronny goes down as well. That one's going to be cleaned up for sure. You see the rest of the team on that side of the map. They're going to reclaim their home mill, and that's going to be much needed here, but there's no points being netted just yet. Finally, they're going to be back onto the board 1-for-1 as Scavzy overextends across enemy lines here, and this is where you see the backtrack coming through from Acells. He knows somebody's hanging around. He just doesn't know where.
Right. What is the game plan? Precision's going to have some pressure on him. Does he have utility? I think he... No, he doesn't. I thought he... Excuse me. I thought he had it in his hand. But either way, creating that spacing. Good team fire up there, though, as Precision is going to be... Oh, my gosh. Precision is doing everything he possibly... Oh, my Lord. He picks up all 3.
8-1 right now. He's going for that triple cap domination. Scavzy, he has to figure out a way to buy as much time as humanly possible here to get his teammates up, but he doesn't buy anything, not even a pack of gum. Precision immediately turns around. He knows they're going to come off of respawn, and this is a much-needed hill for them to get. Great fire from Xysho. There's possibly a chain revive that needs to come through for Team Queso, but no, it's not needed at all. 3 players dead. Hndles, Precision, and Xysho all go down. It's going to be up to Acells here, and it's kind of the reverse situation. They know he's around. They just don't know exactly where.
All right, things are getting interesting as VQ does have a minor lead, but Team Queso taking back to 2-1 in their favor. It's going to be a massive rotation battle. And objectively speaking, I think Team Queso should still have the lead after the 2-1. It's going to be close, though, but... Oh, they do, but just by mere points. This 3v3 battle for A is going to be everything. Jacob, they're pushing and utilities being thrown out. Xysho is picked back up. VQ looking to go for the break. A misthrow from Hndles. That will end his life, and Team Queso holds on and will finally put a point on the board.
That's what you want to do. You need to make sure that you don't deter. Even though I was talking about throwing those instants down, throwing those shocks down, get them off of your side of the map, it's very, very similar when I was talking about on Harbor with Rise. I'm like, you want to be able to fight back. You want to have that confidence to know that those first 2 rounds in your head as a team, it was a fluke. It won't happen again, and you continue to play the game on forward. But this is where Team Queso, man, they're going to go ahead and start to build up that bolt hog pistol, try to have that double-edged sword and weaponry, especially since they could have the high ground here in this next match. On the other side of things, though, that's what like I said, I want to see them make them fight. VQ could force fights here if they put the shocks or instants down, but I don't think that one's going to come through. They're very confident in what they've practiced so far up to this point, so no major changes just yet.
All right, that shock grenade now being laid down from Precision. VQ, they want that over the firepower, which, you know, it's a give and take. The shock is going to be great in certain situations. I prefer the retro and the bolt talk, though, personally, especially if you're hitting your shots. And I want to highlight Bronny has been doing a great job with that retro. And getting his own chip damage is going to make him even more deadly, you'd have to think. But let's see what Yachty does right next to Bronny. Shock has been thrown out. This gave VQ the opportunity to capture A pretty much uncontested, but we're going to have 2 distinct battles taking place. Yachty is going to be lanced from across the way, and this Bronny back up to go for the pickup. He doesn't.
He's pushing forward. He's trying to put it all in his own hands, take this elimination and try to move forward. He's able to get it, getting Lancer towards the top side. And now, like I always talk about, it's about wasting time, staying alive, making sure Yachty gets back up. But you can kind of see it. That's where Xysho, he doesn't want to press the issue, press the fight, but he might have to in here in just a short moment as the Acells does go down. That hill is going to change hands. Both of the home hills look like they're going to be in possession of Team Queso, but Hndles landing massive shots. Flame coming through from Precision. Both of these players on the same page are turning things on their side. Pell should certainly fall here a moment, but he's able to get one. Can Pell do it? No, he cannot. Hndles shuts him down. They're going to hold on to 2 hills.
And for what it's worth, Pellet's been playing so very well, not only in execution, but also here tonight. If the rest of his team can back him up, they're going to be just fine. Team Queso is playing a lot better, not only from the last round clearly winning it, but I think even this round being down, having a deficit, Team Queso seems as if they're starting to heat up and get a grasp on what Escalation Vasgar is all about. But even so, VQ is, they do have the point lead, got the 2-1, and they're on their way to winning this. So Team Queso, what is the game plan? Well, it seems as if they're wanting to go for a 4-man wolf pack over towards A.
They're trying to take over the enemy team spawn, take over their home mill, and they can keep that rotation going if they find these crucial must-have eliminations. Vanquish, they're just sitting pretty, parking the bus, racking up as much of the score line as possible. Pell's going to be the first one going through. He immediately gets cleaned up, traded out though, but the multiple downs, Bronny and Yachty both fall, and I think that is at least going to be 3 members dead. Scavzy, he basically has to do everything here for his squad. He needs to decap this and go forward. His teammates are going to spawn behind him and go to that neutral hill as well, but the timing is not on your side. It's almost kills over hills.
Yeah, they're gonna lose the objective game at this point. That's gonna be the issue. There's just not enough time to collapse. And you did say kills over hills, and right now, kills is what Team Queso needs. Both of these 2v2 fights need to be won, and quickly. They're both gonna go down in precision. All he needs to do is take down Scavzy, which doesn't happen, but the round ends before Scavzy can even get there, and VQ takes the 3-1 lead. A phenomenal first half.
Phenomenal indeed. And what was that? Almost seeming like a little bit of a slow start. Now, I call it a slow start just because how dominant we know VQ can be, but that could be because how great Team Queso have been playing up until this series. Looking like 3-1 lead. A few more rounds. They're going to close out 3-0 fashion VQ over Team Queso. And showing why they thought picking up Xysho was the right move. And honestly, I've been paying attention to him since Gears 4, back when we were going to LAN events, making some noise with multiple teams and really not giving up. And that's the thing. You cannot give up in Gears Esports if you want to make it to the top. You can make whatever excuses you want is the reason why you don't get there. But multiple players have proven time and time again that you can make a name for yourself fighting through challengers, fighting through open bracket. It only takes time.
Only takes time indeed. And you guys are playing anyways. Go out there and prove yourself. I know you guys are playing. You guys are probably playing and watching the broadcast at the same time, all right? So try to play in the Challenger Series. It's free $99, the best price out there. I want to see what you guys can bring to the table. Who knows? Maybe we'll get a chance to cast over you in the next coming weeks. I'm not going to lie. Challenger Series is getting pretty wild, Jacob. There's so many newcomers now starting to rise up to the top.
If I had an Xbox, I would definitely be on some form of play.gears.gg trying to earn my own stripes against some of these teams. But I don't have an Xbox. I play on PC. That little PC logo is going to haunt me for the rest of my life.
Hey, fair enough, Jacob. Fair enough.
Controller input so I can finally play and just bang with the best of them. I'm ready to bring back Funky Bunch. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, fair enough. I want Funky Bunch to come back.
I'm stealing Kenny away from United. What's the buyout?
Well, hey, you're gonna have to lay down the big bucks now, man.
I got $3.
Hey, Kenny's got $3. Is that enough to go back to Funky Bunch? Well, I guess we'll let you decide at this point. Team Queso off to a good start, Jacob. They've got the 2-1. They've got a minor point lead. Then we're going to have a decisive 2v3 as player 4, Bronny, breaks off the go assist player 3 of Scavzy in now a 2v2. Now a 2v1 as player 4 is finished off, but Vanquish does win the fight ultimately for the hill they were currently on. And for Bronny and Scavzy, they're going to continue to rotate down.
Hndles is trying to stay alive. In this situation, even though they're fighting for the hill, Hndles is just kind of playing around with his food right now, and somehow they go for the hill. They need to stop this triple cap domination. They're trying to start this triple cap domination from coming through on the side of Team Queso. He dodges the fight, but leaves his player in a 1v2 situation. That's going to be Yachty. He gets taken down, and you can already see the overextension coming through. Xysho and Hndles, or I should say Acells and Precision, they want their home hill back, and this is going to be a 2v2 fight for it. Well-placed flash, not going to get any stuns to connect those, so it wasn't as well-placed as I initially thought. 3v1, reinforcements coming through. One down, and one elimination as well as Scavzy, Bronny, and Co. come up big onto that hill. They're going to maintain the lead for now.
All right, maintaining the lead, as you said, and this is important for Team Queso to come back. You don't want VQ to be a match point, series point, and you just have a huge mountain to climb, which obviously is 3 straight rounds, or 4 straight rounds, excuse me, if they were to lose this. But at this point in time, I don't know, VQ, are they going to have enough? It's going to come down to a distinct, no, not even. Player 2, Yachty, making a heads-up play, rotating around, brings it to a 1v1 between him, and now it's going to be a 3v2 up top. Player 6 is finished off, and Team Queso, in my opinion, are taking this round.
They definitely looking like they're going to be able to close this one down. Oh, might have spoke too soon. D gets decapped. We got a couple of players on E, though. Make that 3 to be exact. Acells is going to try to do what he can. So is Xysho, but I just don't think it's going to be enough. Barring any miracles, can he get a massive kill? There goes one. It's going to be for the wrong team, therefore, in that moment. Team Queso, they're going to be their first round of the half, second overall, but still trail by 1. What do you think they have to do to kind of build upon this momentum?
What do they have to do to build up on the momentum? I think their teamwork has been great. One of the things that Team Queso that I've liked over the past couple of rounds they've been able to win is they start off very strong. They start off really strong. They're not playing catch up. They're not trying to play the objective game, you know, the constant fishbowl of just going around in a circle, trying to hop on hills and you know, try to regain the 2-1. They're starting off in a distinct fashion, dominating the initial and taking the early lead, forcing the hand of VQ to then react instead of them reacting for themselves. I think Team Queso needs to continue to just hammer home these initials and force VQ to constantly find a way to retake the objective control.
I think that's well said, and I got to agree with you there. And I like the way Scavzy's kind of set up on this hill, and there's another player going in the middle. Pell, you don't typically see players off the initial go and attack the middle, but he makes short work of Hndles. Nice up A to reaction shot in that cover, but Scavzy goes down. Scavzy can't go down in that situation. They should be trying to sandwich Acells. Acells is one of the most dangerous players on Vanquish in the history of the team, and that's not something you want to do. Leave it up to a 1v1.
Oh,
that's why I told you.
Why. That is why. And you know what? That would have been a big elimination Pell was able to get if he takes down Acells, because not only do you secure that hill, you also get rid of the Retro. And now Retro is free to roam around the map with Acells.
Man, Yachty's going to go down. Chain revives coming through. No elimination just yet for Vanquish, so that is a good sign. Precision does go down as well as you see them trying to push. The Bronny gets snug. Xysho gets downed out, and Hndles takes out Yachty across the map. Everything just comes crumbling down there for VQ, but Pell is going to be the silver lining, trying to keep this one intact and keep points being gained for Team Queso as the rest of their hills are going to be neutralized. Even E is being neutralized for a moment, but they want to solidify this elimination first. Pell trying to get a trade. He gets taken down. That's where you see Precision backtrack to try to get the hill under their own control, and the rotation coming through from Xysho. They want to stop this push. Team Queso, Bronny gets one, taking out Hndles as they continue to push forward. Like I said, they're trying to get that second hill under their own control. Triple cap domination for a moment, and a much needed break coming through.
Ooh, does Scavzy hit him with the little emote? You better pick up the 2-piece. He doesn't, but he had his moment at least, I guess. Now VQ starting to really run away with this match. They've got the 2-1 back. And well, I guess momentarily as Bronny heads over towards E. So Team Queso, believe it or not, is going to have the 2-1, despite all of that going very well for the boys of VQ. And VQ off the respawn is going to send 3 over towards E. But it's going to be matched from Team Queso. So once again, a big battle about to be underway.
Yeah, but right now the numbers kind of favor Vanquish in terms of close vicinity, especially if they're able to put their Retro into the battle. But that's going to be Pell across the map, defending his home hill for the Retro. So when it comes to weaponry, VQ do have the advantage, but it does look like they're going to try to backtrack, get another shot grenade, possibly another Retro as well. As you see, Acells goes down. That's not the time you want to go down. Hndles backtracked, like I said, for that shot grenade and left it wide open for the taking. Hndles is able to get the down. Back A from Bronny, though, while full red. And now it's like shooting fish in a barrel. They're looking at angle out Hndles. He goes down as well late into this one. Team Queso with 2 hills. They're going to take the lead.
Going to take the lead. So well done from Team Queso. An important round here as they will tie it up 3-3. And VQ knows we got to make this moment ours. To decap on E could be everything. I think this puts VQ back in the lead. The decap is in. Can they get the full cap? Oh, not just yet. Team Queso's holding them at bay. I think Team Queso just held on. Yes, they did. And they're going to be on F. Very well done. Team Queso's going to tie up the map 3-3.
It's going to be really telling. Because this one, yeah, through and through, like I said, Team Queso, they have really been improving. We thought this was going to be closed out 3-0, but we're here with the tied game, map number 3. Vanquish still lead 2-0, so This could still end in a 3-0 fashion, but not if Bronny and Team Queso have anything to say about it. And this is where I kind of see maybe put the incense down, but it does look like the retro is going to be upgraded. If they, oh no, it's every 60 seconds, and they're playing into the plan that if a big weapon is going to go down center line, it will be forced that Vanquish has to put that weapon down.
Yeah, I think it's going to be next. Well, excuse me, the disables would come out next round, you'd have to assume. But round 9, if we get to that point, I am 100. Well, the incense. Wow, so different. I am positive we are going to get a big weapon. Now, you have to think, Jacob, though, for VQ's perspective with the shock and the incense now, if a big weapon is placed on tank, you almost have to think they're going to have a much better chance of getting that weapon if we get to that point.
And instead of having it every 60 seconds, maybe they could have put those instant center lines, something to fight over, and then keep it off of the side. But that's neither here nor there. This round is going to be underway. It does look like Acells is going to be under siege. Train revives coming through. They're going to be at full health on different pages, though, to back up. Only one is going to save for now. That is going to be Acells. He's trying to rotate around the map and try to be saved by his team. He's going to go ahead and stay alive for now. As you see Team Queso backtracking. They want to start to gain that advantage in points to put the pressure on to VQ. But on the other side of the map, they have some different plans. Yachty wants to try to find an elimination. He's going 1v2 against multiple players. Ill-advised, I might say. He does get taken down, so 2 hills in favor of Team Queso will be no more.
Hndles is by himself. He's out of the way, gone.
Who's next?
And that should be a break for Team Queso. Now, one thing that I do like what TQ is doing, objectively, they're... Oh, that incense, great. But objectively, they're sound. They continue to rotate through the map, and they're wolfpacking. They're fighting for each other. Hndles is by himself. He was finished off. Precision was by himself. He's finished off. VQ is starting to spread themselves thin and play as individuals instead of that team. Whereas Team Queso wolfpacking is making it very difficult for VQ to clutch up. Case in point.
Again,
Case in
another
point.
death staggered. Exactly. Another death staggered. And there's going to be a spawn in. Yachty does get downed out on this side. And they're going to go ahead and leave him there to try to stagger the death while they break open that neutral. Just a few seconds, maybe less than 20. Really separating these two teams. So this is the mid portion of the game where anybody can still take the lead and have a massive advantage. Bronny goes down. Xysho trying to reunite with his teammates. Strike cross from Scavzy. Return fire coming through from Xysho. There's 2 downs. He needs to be careful before he gets downed out. Lots of damage. He almost gets taken out. 23% health left on him. But now, as he stays alive with his last life, he is going to have to be very careful how much damage he takes.
Round's going to continue on for sure. VQ might pressure in on the F, but in the meantime, player 7 is going to maybe back off. Player 6 needs help, but I think it's going to be a little bit too late. He's kind of in no man's land, forced to fight this 1v2. He'll back off and almost accept the decap potentially, but again, no one's helping him. VQ is going to instead send 3 players into F and bank on the opportunity that they win this engagement against Pell and Scavzy. It's not a bad strategy per se. They want to just keep that 2-1 in their favor, but the scoreline is tight. And Team Queso, if they win any engagement, should put them back into the lead. Player 6 has ran away, and he's going to be in a 1v at the current point in time. But player 5 is moving up, but now 5 is going to be in a 1v1. And he's gone.
So good! He's so good! A much-needed opportunity for Bronny, but it can't stop here. You don't let your foot up off the gas. You need to figure out a way to go. F's going to be broken. Still enough time for Team Queso to take the lead here late into the game, and they find the elimination. It's all about holding on to the home hill. That is Vanquish's 1v2 situation. Yachty, it gets decapped. Bronny gets taken out as well. Only 1 hill. They need 2. Yachty gets taken out. Only 2 members alive, and they're getting flanked. They're hill taken from the backside. They need these eliminations, and I don't know if they're going to have enough hill time to get it as Pell gets taken down. So does Scavzy. Vanquish now move on to map and series point here in our last game of the day.
But for what it's worth, Team Queso is putting up one hell of a fight. I am loving what I'm seeing from these boys. Objectively, they're playing well. I think their initials are on point, per se. One of the things that did hurt them was that ensign. You know, they forewent the ensign. They chose to have down their retro. But off the initial where, you know, I was saying, you know, Team Queso, that's where they're strongest. That's where they can really put a hurting to VQ. That ensign brought them off the hill of helicopter, got the kill, and then ultimately gave the hill over to VQ. So, I mean, now you, case in point, maybe the ensign would have been more worth it than that constant DPS from the retro. But that's only one instance.
See a lot going down. Both shot grenades out of there. So 60-second retro. versus 122nd incendiary grenades. You got to think you got to give the upper hand to the retro. But if you're very precise, like Hndles is, especially in these situations, that can really turn the tides, really make a difference, and put the pressure on to Team Queso. So I'm going to be interested to see what is the answer here from either one of these teams. How will Hndles use that instant? Whew, a little too soon.
All right, so as you said, a little too soon with the ensign. That's going to now make it to it's just a good old-fashioned fight. Hndles, it's a great shot on the Scavzy. He's going to be out of the way. Pell now forced to fight for his life against Acells. And you mentioned Acells made a great play, but Pell handles his own and picks up the Hill of E.
Oh my, that's exactly. And honestly, he didn't up A the cover. He didn't get too antsy to move. He just played it perfect and landed a much needed reaction shot to keep the damage on towards Acells. But another retro into the hands of Scavzy here for a moment. I'm trying to look at the utility, seeing what these players have. Everybody but Pell on one side, and then everybody on the side of VQ here. If they're trying to make a push, they have the flashes, they have the smokes if they so please here. Try to leave a charge. It's actually going to be all flashes all around as Acells. Those are one player's at. Spots the other one at the corner of his eye. So they know where these two players are geared up and ready to defend. You see the rotation coming in from Xysho, trying to control and counteract this push. They want to track a 3v2.
Battle underway once again, and the rematch between Pell and Acells will end in a stalemate. Both will trade off. Either way, Team Queso still keeps that 2-1, and VQ playing catch-up, constant catch-up. This is Team Queso's put themselves in an excellent spot. This is going to force VQ to make some very big plays, and quite honestly, very soon, it's going to be a big 3v3. Stuns and everything are going to be thrown out. It's not going to have too much of an impact. Acells trying to open up a door, and he will. Taking down Bronny is a big plus. Scavzy now is going to be just on the other side of that cover, and it's still going to be a 3 full-man push from VQ as the team pickups are in, but maybe Team Queso is going to be heating up. Is this their opportunity? Maybe. It's still back and forth, but Xysho hits Yachty. Pell is going to fall, and Team Queso is going for the domination.
Well, this could be it. This could be game. It's going to be up to him. Bronny, if he can touch the hill, he's going to prolong it right now, but the win condition is going to go over. Vanquish now with 2 uncontested hills will come out victorious. So Bronny's going to have to play this one perfect. You see reinforcements coming through on the side of Acells. Lots of damage being taken. Bronny's going to have to come out with something. He gets taken out. Multiple fights going down on the other side of the map. It's off to Pell again. How many times can this man play hero? As you see, he does it one more time in the same round, but it's not going to be enough. Now Vanquish have taken the lead late into this one. Less than 25 seconds remain. Team Queso need to go. They need to force this round number 9.
This fight is everything on E. Granted, it's going to be a 3v2. They need to get the decap. Oh, man! And it's going to be the instant that should save the day. We talked about how powerful those instants could be. Team Queso going with the retro instead of the flames, but VQ with the flames themselves alleviates that pressure. Now, the 2-1 shouldn't be enough. It's going to be so close. It is enough. Oh, but the decap on F almost took place. Swarm still has the win.
Yep, they do it. No one's going to be able to get the touch. If Pell just stayed in the hill, he would have got it, but I don't think anybody's going to be close enough. They get the hill decapped on the other side. Vanquish will close this one out. No round number 9. 3-0. The day is over.
The day is finito. VQ gets revenge, or I say revenge, but we knew it was a bit of a grudge match between Bronny and Xysho, but for VQ, they are on top. 3-0 victory, but let it be known, Team Queso fought well today, and they still showed that there's a lot of potential with this roster across all 3 game modes, to be quite honest with you. We'll see how they fare off in the future, but at least for tonight, VQ can rest easy because they got the W.
Rest easy indeed. A much needed victory. Like I said, that was not just for a pro league win. That was all out war. That was a grudge match between these two teams. 3-0. It goes over to VQ. Like you said, I want to give them all the praise in the world. Congratulations, especially with inserting Xysho into their system, but you got to give it up to Team Queso, particularly both Pell and Bronny. Those mans put on a show for everybody. Like I said, Pell saving the round time and time again. And honestly, that 1v1 opportunity there towards the bottom, all he needed was the decap. If he gets the decap, even if he dies, he forces that round number 9.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, you know, just a small moment in time that could have been the defining factor to, you know, take the edge off of VQ, send it to round 9. We don't know who takes it from that point forward, but at least you have another chance. But you know what, Jacob, you mentioned Pell. I think Pell played incredibly well, not only here on Escalation, but even on Execution. He was influential at least 2 defining times where he was able to get onto the flank and, you know, get that first blood, putting the momentum into the hands of Team Queso, which also when they closed it off, that was a very, very close round 11. I think Team Queso had plenty of great moments. Yachty had some stand-up moments himself too. You know, impressed with him across the board. And Scavzy, you know, Scavzy, for what it's worth, did a great job whenever he was in those Wolfpack scenarios. That was a great example, right? He had the confidence to push up, pick up those eliminations because he had his boys with him. So well done across the board from Team Queso. And I think a lot of people would be hard on this team. And, you know, their record isn't the best, but I genuinely feel Team Queso could be a bracket buster team depending if they do in fact play during the mid-split playoffs.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%, especially since it looks like every single one of their matches, wins or losses, they're improving. They're just getting better. Yeah. And with a few weeks left in play, as long as they escape that relegation, like you said, they could be bracket busters. They could be a dangerous team that takes out one of our previous champions, a reigning champions, a possible future champion. This could get good in Gears Esports.